All right, welcome to another episode of Warrior versus Zombie. And today's going to be fun because we have a repeat guest here. She was actually with us a couple of episodes ago, Lynn Christensen, and we're going to because I was so fascinated and so interested, as well as a number of our audience members, in her story and where she's at and the whole crypto universe and that sort of thing. So we'll talk about that. But before we get any further into this, let's talk about Warrior versus Zombie. And the fundamentals here of success is a journey, it's not a destination. As warriors, we all have a history of ups and downs, wins and losses that are all part of making us who we are up to this point, provide a foundation for our path forward. We all battle our inner zombie as well as those zombies in our world. And in each episode, I interview warriors who are aspiring leaders from all walks of life: entrepreneurs, artists, health practitioners, business owners, investors, literally any inspired leader that has a story to tell. These warriors have a cause, they have a unique value, and a vision that goes generations into the future. And as I told you before, Lynn Christensen is absolutely no exception. She's an awesome warrior. She was born in New Jersey. She's Texas raised. She's a mom, an entrepreneur, a Christian, and an investor. And her 19-year warrior journey includes raising a son as a single mom, multiple jobs, hard work, sales, and now investing. Today, Lynn is a full-time investor and is crypto funded. And we're going to talk a lot about that today and how that all works. And for us dummies, how we can deal with that whole concept. Her passion really is spreading the awareness of the future and how jumping into the volatile waters of cryptocurrency may be a game changer for anyone that missed the .com, Apple, Google, or Amazon trains. Her simple message is getting education, focusing, and then applying your knowledge. So that's what we're going to try and do today. Today is the second installment, episode 48 of Warrior versus Zombie. And I want to get down a little bit into the maybe at the top of the weeds, Lynn, with talking about crypto. But tell me first, how's your day going before we get started into specifically the questions that I have?
My day is going well, thank you. And thank you for having me again.
Oh, well, I was fascinated by our first discussion, and I've been fascinated by the whole crypto thing. I'm really late to the party myself. And just the concept of you, some of the things we talked about, you trading in your pajamas and working from home, and some of the things we talked about before, um, are really inspiring to me. I mean, it's, the whole flexibility, freedom, control, all these things for somebody as warriors as we try to live and design our ideal day are all attributes that I think are aligned with your focus on crypto. So you woke up this morning. Have you been doing any trading today, or was it mainly just dealing with the other aspects of your ideal day?
So I didn't do any trading this morning because the market is just kind of consolidating. So there wasn't any potential entries. Um, so I want to tell you, you're not too late. We're still in the beginning phases of crypto. So this morning consisted of education, um, just educating myself. So today we're talking about crypto, and disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. So that's what I was doing, educating myself with the new NFT. So have you heard of Facebook changing their name to Metaverse?
Yeah, the metaverse, that would be a NFT. And what is an NFT? What is NFT?
So an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's cryptocurrency, but it allows you to participate in the digital world, in the what is it called when you put those glasses on? I'm having a
Oh,
brain part. You put the glasses, the virtual reality.
virtual
So
reality,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
virtual reality. And so yeah, I was just educating myself on that. You have to be really, really quick to adapt. Like what the future holds is absolutely insane, and I just want to stay on top of everything and make sure it doesn't slip through my fingers. But what I can say from the information I learned this morning is Facebook will not be what it is today in 5 years from now.
Interesting. Okay. Well, so what I love, and we'll come back to this. We're going to take a quick break because I like the check-in segment, but I really want to get down and dirty, if you will, and talking about some of the things. And you've already now introduced a new point of confusion or understanding to me. But what I do love about
All
what you
coincides. So
yeah, they're all coinciding, and I understand that. But sometimes we have to unravel the spaghetti to see what's in there. Uh,
absolutely.
so one of the things I want to do, but what I do love about what you just said was your day started off with education, and I think we'll also we kind of in our last episode talked about that getting educated, and what I love, and most true warriors are exactly the way you just described, is whatever we advise or are trying to lead people to do, we do ourselves.
Yeah.
And so you are very much immersed in that. So let's take a quick break and we're going to come back and we'll hear, for the audio audience, we'll hear a little of Ricky Jean Wright, and it's not the getting there. And then we're going to talk about kind of some of the fundamentals. I'm going to ask some, probably for anybody that's in crypto already and trying to maybe tune in here and wants to get finer points on things, they're going to go, these are just, I already know the answers to these questions, but I'm going to ask them anyway, because I know I'll have people, lawyers, that are saying, okay, it's time I paid attention to this crypto thing, kind of like me. I've only been paying attention in any kind of focus for a couple months. So
Yeah.
I'm just getting started myself, to be in full transparency. But I'm also, like most warriors, want to focus forward. So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back after listening to a little bit of Ricky Jean Wright, and we'll be right back with Lynn Christensen, and we're going to do Crypto for Dummies. All right, we are back, and so Lynn, I'm excited to see Buddy there again, and for those looking at the video, if you're not watching the video, go back and watch the video. We'll see Buddy, cool dog. Anyway, and so remind me before we start, because some people will say, well, okay, I didn't listen to the first episode, but kind of how did you find your way into crypto? Because a lot of us are maybe just becoming aware. I think you'd have to be under a rock if you haven't at least heard the concept of Bitcoin and heard those kinds of things thrown out there, and cryptocurrency. And I mean, even in the media, the U.S. government's talking about buying a trillion-dollar coin, all this craziness.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you find your way into that? Again, just real quick, how did you find your way into crypto?
Being in the right group at the right time with the right people in the Forex market, trading binary options, and word of mouth, that's how, that's
So
how I fell
your
into my
network,
lot.
yeah. So your network,
Yes.
one of the things that we talk about as warriors is who you associate with has a huge impact on your net worth, as well. Your network equals or can have a major impact on your net worth. And they often say we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So I'm hoping, spending time with you, that crypto and success in that world might surround me a little more. But anyway, and for those listening to this podcast, so you found your way into crypto, at a high level. But what exactly did that, like, who introduced you? So you were already in trading, already doing binary options. Forex is something I've heard of, don't really not understand that much. Frankly, I'm not really that interested in today. But
Yes, now.
but but found crypto. So tell me again. So that was, you were in like an investing conference
Yeah.
or something?
So, as I said in the previous podcast, a colleague that I had worked with back in like 2013, had reached out to me. He's the one who introduced me to Forex. After dabbling into Forex, he's like, hey, Lynn, I got something for you. It's called crypto, blah, blah, blah. And, I told you that I like to gamble. So I'm like, hey, if I can go to the casino and lose 5, 10 grand, why can't I put that into this crypto thing? And he had already showed me his crypto wallet and how much he had made in just, a couple of days. And so I'm like, hey, I'm all in, right? I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And so, as I told you before, I made about $45,000 in 30 days. So I said, okay, I need to educate myself on this and figure out what else can I get in, right? I had heard of crypto. I knew it was hot. I knew so many millionaires were made from crypto. But like you said in the beginning, you're kind of late. And actually, we're actually in the beginning. So yeah, that's where it all began.
So, yeah, and when I say late, I mean I'm late to the game because I've been aware of it for a while. Um, there's always this technology or what's called a market adoption curve, if you understand. I mean, I
Yeah,
have an MBA from Wharton. I mean, I've learned all this nonsense,
yeah.
some of which is fundamental and some of which is just noise. But when I say late, I mean I don't see it crypto or digital currency and that kind of thing is it's not up to the inflection what would be called the inflection point yet. So we're still early adopters per se
Yeah.
in the growth curve. Not like everybody and their brother already knows this and is already in it, and I'm the last one to the party. So I don't mean to say that. So tell me this. Let me ask you some really get some of these dumb questions out of the way. So when we
All
talk about crypto, the one that pops up, it's kind of like tissue and Kleenex is Bitcoin. So tell me Bitcoin first in terms of what that really is. It seems like it's the coin of the realm or something like that. I mean, what is Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is the king of all cryptos. It
Okay.
started the trend
Okay.
to decentralized finance and being a vehicle for everyday people to participate in financial freedom. If that makes sense.
So it is the king of crypto in terms of the coin. Now Bitcoin, and this is the part that I think I'm getting smarter on. What is it that drives the value of Bitcoin versus other coins? Is it just the quantity, what drives the value of a Bitcoin?
So initially, what drove the value was the community. The power was in the people, but due to the mass adoption, now it's also like the power is in mass like institutions and super wealthy people, large companies like Amazon, um, Tesla, all the names.
Hmm.
But yeah, ran by the people. The
So
power is in the people.
so when you say the power and the people and other large institutions adopting it, so is it? And again, if I say something that doesn't jive with what it, so is Bitcoin like a currency? Is that the way I should think of it?
Yeah,
Is it's a way to buy and sell other things other than just Bitcoin? It's not just like buying Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can be translated like dollars, if you will,
yeah.
or gold into other assets. Is that true?
Mhm.
Okay. So, and it is kind of the king of coin, right? So it's it's, I mean, in the U.S. or in the global financial markets, the kind of the U.S. dollar has been the one that was kind of pegged
Mhm.
other currencies and things like that. There's plenty of other currencies, right? How many currencies are there? Kind of like, so
Oh, countless.
is this a parallel? And again, without getting too scientific, but is this kind of the same thing in terms of that I trade? I have an account. I'm really dumbing this down for my own. I have an account of Bitcoin, like I have a bank account of cash, not cash, but of digital because I'm not holding all this cash, right? It's my bank account. I look at it and I've got X thousands of dollars or whatever in this and this and this. So is Bitcoin just one of those? Is that a currency like that? One of the questions I get frequently is getting it from, because not everybody takes Bitcoin. I think you were saying to me in one other conversation that certain companies will now take Bitcoin or
Doge or Shiba.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to answer your question right, but I'll try my best.
Okay,
So
sure. Yeah, just
Bitcoin is a currency. The DXY is a currency, but one's digital and one's tangible. Um,
DXY being
the
the
US
dollar,
dollar. Yeah.
US dollar. Yeah, okay.
DXY being the US dollar. And, Bitcoin has created kind of like a hedge against protection is what they call it,
Hmm.
of the US dollar. And it's helped people. Um, I don't really know how to explain. All I can say is go to Wikipedia, type in Bitcoin, and you can understand fully
Okay.
what Bitcoin is here to do and provide, and the transactions, and how much is available and this and that. But Bitcoin kind of like segued for other altcoins, everything after Bitcoin, um, to come in and kind of bridge gaps in the world, in many different ways. So
Right.
does that
And it's
answer the question?
yeah, enough, because it really, for one thing, it is one of the things that you said was that it is as an alternative or a hedge. I like that term against the US dollar because one of the things I think that concerns me and I think concerns a lot of warriors and even people who already have a lot of US dollars at their disposal is the amount of US dollars that are being printed and created that have no additional value associated with them. So we're that which I think the DXY, as you say, or the dollar, is less valuable today than it was a little bit ago. So if you look at any kind of investing, right, and you're trying to hedge against this investment going down, then you're actually saying that a reason, not the reason, but a reason for Bitcoin or digital currency or whatever digital product is as a hedge against other types of assets. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Yeah. And
Okay.
they all provide utility, each altcoin um, provides some sort of use. Well, there are some that don't provide any utility. That's why you have to do your research. But yeah.
So, okay, so that's a good. So when you're looking at, and again, I don't want to get too far advanced because you are
I know
advanced.
I stopped myself. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's why you got the dummy on this side of the conversation because I'm saying, okay, so I get that. I get the fundamental of having another investment, something to diversify. And I think that's a term that still applies here, right? One of the things,
Absolutely.
when we look at Bitcoin and altcoin is really just anything is that coins that are not Bitcoin? Is that when you say altcoin, that's just all the others? Is that kind of like a,
Correct.
okay, all right, good. So I got that. Now, when we were talking, there was another coin, because see, in full disclosure, I mean, remember, I said I've only been like a couple of months. So I've got Bitcoin, I've got Ethereum, I've got a couple of other smaller coins just playing with. I'm really just kind of testing the waters, if you will. I got my little toe in there and doing it. The Ethereum is a little different. Is that true? I
Yeah.
mean,
So
I
they
do own Ethereum, and I've not. I've last 2 months I've been excited because Ethereum has actually way exceeded Bitcoin. So I had Bitcoin first, and I thought, okay, now I'll try Ethereum, and it's actually way outperformed in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
on than Bitcoin. But
Yeah. So
so
I personally believe that Bitcoin is like a safe haven and kind of falls under like, your precious metals, something in
okay,
that nature. Ethereum, I feel like will blow past Bitcoin as far as like volume and market cap. And just based off like the conversations we've had, so like investing in these cryptos and these NFTs, Ethereum blockchain is what allows you to invest in them. So again, it's the vehicle that allows you to invest in the altcoins or the NFTs. It's one of the blockchains that allows you to do the transactions, but it's it's going like a wildfire right now as far as crypto and NFTs because it is the future.
yeah,
And so that's why Ethereum's going up. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
okay,
So it's a good investment you're in.
okay. Well, and
You should put both feet, not just the toe.
okay. And I'm on the journey, right? Like I said, it's not the journey, it's not the getting there, it's a journey every day. So
Oh,
part of what warriors and again, what I loved about you and you first started the conversation and we're continuing the conversation is you're focused forward and you're looking forward and you're looking
always.
and that's what I would submit no matter what the topic is in warrior versus zombie. The warriors that listen to this, we're all focused forward. We're looking for the opportunities ahead and looking for the things that we can take advantage of. And hopefully, this is one of those. So, and you said you already explained what NFT was and altcoins. This is one that's a little confusing, and if it's going to get too complex, then I don't want to go there. But I'm going to ask it anyway because it's one that a question that I tend to have, and is kind of was like the beginning of crypto, and that is what is mining? What is that? And is that's not you're not doing mining, right? I'm not doing. Okay, so
So anyone can mine right from their computer, right?
mhm,
Again, you just have to educate yourself. But that's something done, like, let's say, in the back office, if you will, um, in the crypto world. And so basically, if I had to give you a visual, kind of think of it like you have like these little cubby holes, and
uh-huh.
each cubby hole you can put a block in there, but the block has to be filled up first with all the transactions. Once it's full, let's say this block consists of 12 transactions, and then you go fill up the cubbies, and then once that's complete, you mine it, and then that's done. um,
So in a particular, and again, this is in the blockchain thing, is once a block can't be mined. What I think I heard you say, and if I say it wrong, that's fine. You can correct me. When the block is full, then it can be mined until it's full with whatever it's filled with, and
yeah.
that's a little confusing to me, but
You
it's
can just
okay.
go research it. Everything is in oh my god, Wikipedia.
Right. Okay.
Wikipedia, yeah.
Yeah. So Wikipedia is good for this type of thing, maybe not so good for other
To
types of
give
things.
you that granular understanding, yes.
Right.
For mining, what is Bitcoin? What is Ethereum? What is their purpose? How much of Bitcoin is there? How much Ethereum is there? All that good stuff.
So let me ask you this, and then we're going to take a quick break. I just want to ask you one quick question: Is in your world, and you're much more into this than probably somebody who's going to be like me that doesn't eat, drink, sleep crypto
Mhm.
like you do, and if I'm overstating, I don't think I am. I mean, I think that's the truth. So, but how do you spend your time or invest? I say a better term. I don't like spend time. You should never spend time. You should always invest time. Um, how do you invest your time on a daily basis or whatever relative to crypto and investing?
Well, so as far as investing my time in the research,
Hmm.
always read the information provided from the source, directly from the source, whether a lot of times, for example, Twitter. Just to give you an example, so let's say the Safe Moon token. People can talk about Safe Moon all over Twitter, all over Facebook, all over Instagram, whatever. That's fine. But you want to go directly to Safe Moon Twitter. They have a blue check mark verified to get information. You want to go to their Telegram to get information. But most importantly, when you're doing your research, you want to go to what's called, and this is what I do, and this is the sauce, guys. So anyone who has been wanting to invest but doesn't know where to start, how to find the facts, I go to coinmarketcap.com and I click on the coin that I want to research. And when I click on that, it will show me the chart. So I always look at the technicals. I go to their website, I read their white papers. Their white papers gives a roadmap and a breakdown of their utility and their goals for Q1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. I see like who they're partnered with, whether it's celebrities, major people, whatever the case may be. And I kind of use my brain, like, is this a good investment or is it not? So I do that as far as research. I keep up with like all the billionaires. You know, you got Mark Cuban, you got Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Rich Dad Poor Dad. What's his name? I watch him all the time.
Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah.
Thank you. He's
Yeah.
my favorite. How dare I forget his name? That's so rude. So yeah, I just constantly stay like in the loop, hearing, you know, everyone who has the experience, people who actually have an impact on the world. I have other mentors that started before me and have a lot more information than me, so I stay up with them. And yeah, I mean, I just educate and read as much as I can. Pretty much, that's it.
Well, that's actually very helpful. And so let's take another quick break. I want to come back in this next segment and little kind of let's start the around, you know, how do we get started? How to, you know, if I'm not in crypto, and that kind of thing, and talk about a few of those fundamentals, and then we'll go into the land of plane segment. I know we'll have to cut this short, and if there's interest from the folks in the audience that are listen to this after the fact or here live, then you know, we'll follow it up. We may even start a whole show if it
Perfect.
becomes popular. All right,
I'm
so let's
here
take
to
another,
help. So
and we'll be right back with Lynn Christensen and Crypto for Dummies on Warrior versus Zombie. All right, Len, this is a little different episode. We've had a couple of these where I've gone with warriors on their journey a little bit more, and I'm loving this education and getting some of the basics of crypto. It's still very fuzzy to me, but one of the things that occurred to me as you were talking, as I said, you know, I've invested in the stock market, in the New York Stock Exchange, you know, the housing market, real estate. I've done a lot of you know, even, you know, some precious metals, other types of things. There's a lot of decisions when it comes to investing, and I'd be lying if I said I understood all the questions that I have about all of those markets. So I think one of the things is that maybe has kept people, the dummies like me in the world, from actually pulling the trigger on crypto is just really knowing some real basic things about how do I get started, what do I do first. Obviously, you've already said a couple of times, you said in the last podcast, get educated, and you've given us, you know, Wikipedia, and you even listed off a few names of possible people who you labeled before you finished that conversation as mentors, people, and that's true. I mean, I have mentors that I've never met in person that I read, listen to, consume what they're saying because of their success. And that's kind of what you want to do, is you want to follow people that are successful. And so that's a good warrior principle. But tell me, if I'm, let's just pretend, because I already said I had a couple of crypto, but if I wanted to start incorporating crypto and I wanted to do it myself, a lot of entrepreneurs and warriors that listen to this podcast, that we're kind of hands-on, do it ourselves, and then at some point we'll contract with somebody that makes a living of that because we don't want to spend all of our time doing that like you're doing with crypto.
Mhm.
How would I get started?
Great question. So the media is constantly advertising what's called Coinbase,
Okay.
PayPal, Cash App. Those are all regulated apps. Yes, you can definitely start there. But I would recommend starting with a non regulated app, um, which is called a DEX, which is a decentralized exchange. So, what that means is you're in control of your wallet, just like Coinbase, except you're in control. And um, say you invest in something and you make profits. Well, now the as of right now, the IRS won't acknowledge that as if it was in Coinbase, they would acknowledge it and you would have to pay out those taxes quarterly, right? So I would recommend what's called Trust Wallet for beginners. Just download that. You'll have to create well, you don't create it, they give you a 12-word phrase, and that is like your key to or your lock um, to your safe, basically.
Okay.
You never want to give that away to anyone, but that is like for you and only you. I would go in there and I would buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, do all the swaps, anything on the Binance chain that you can. And then from there, whenever you're ready to liquefy your profits, I would send it to crypto.com.
Okay.
Um, and the reason I would send it to crypto.com is because they have what's called a crypto.com card, which gives you, say, for example, you don't have to convert your Bitcoin or whatever token you bought, you don't have to convert it into US dollars. So therefore, it's not immediately acknowledged as, okay, go pay Uncle Sam. You get to put it on your crypto card, use that card like a debit card. And for every transaction, they give you back a certain percent depending which card you qualify for.
Wow.
Um, so let's say 5%, say you go with the 5% back, every transaction you're getting 5% back, but in crypto, it's called Pro. So it's just, that's my advice to you, a way to kind of avoid Uncle Sam a little bit longer and make your money work for you a little bit more and a little bit harder.
So when you say, and again, nobody's advocating avoiding taxes per se, or evading taxes or any of that kind of thing on
I'm
this.
not a financial advisor.
We're not doing that at all. But by the same token, is there's been a lot of discussion in in today about the federal government monitoring transactions and doing things.
Oh,
A lot of noise around that, and I'm not going to go there at all. But the thing is, we do things on a day-to-day basis. We file our taxes as individuals once a year. We do quarterly true ups and that kind of thing in the business world, to stay current, and we have withdrawals and all that. We all understand, I think, at least to some degree, taxes. um, and having the government kind of sit on the sideline, and then when you're ready, letting them know, okay, this is where things are at on a yearly basis, is a lot better maybe than, because the other thing I've already learned, and you've amplified before, is it's a very volatile market. So there's wins and losses, and government's real quick to give you take money from your wins, and they're very slow at giving you credit for your losses. So when it comes to taxes, so I get that. So Trust Wallet, um, crypto.com for actually transacting or moving that. I love the analogy. Or the concept, because we all, I think, have credit cards or debit cards where we get cash back for. That's a big thing, has been a thing. That's not a new thing for people. So what you're saying is you can move it into crypto.com and have access to it if you need it, and do transactions, and even get rewarded for your transactions. So it's like having a line of credit, or having money in your bank account that you can actually draw on if you need it, which is another big concern. It's kind of like when you're buying gold or other precious metals, the liquidity or the ability to use that you pay for it usually. I mean, usually if you want to draw out of it and put it back, you're almost like taking a loan on yourself. But you're saying I actually make money,
Mhm.
or in at least in coin from that. So that's a good tip. What else should I? I mean, you mentioned Bitcoin, Ethereum. Um, you used another term that I wasn't clear on. That's on the other coins, altcoins. Is that what?
Yeah. I want to go back to crypto.com. So another other benefits to it, you get access, just like if you had an American Express card, you get the lounge access at the airports. So when you have crypto.com, you get that access. And also you get, so if you have Spotify, Netflix, and I think it was like Amazon Prime, your
Mm-hmm.
whatever that monthly is, just for having the crypto.com card, they reimburse you, but in crypto.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun. And another thing, just for educational, for crypto for dummies, when you do invest in crypto or Bitcoin, you're actually not investing as yourself. You're no longer a person. You're actually a wallet ID address,
Hmm.
and everything is on the blockchain. I just thought I'd
So,
share that.
so you're not a name per se. You're actually you're uniquely
Wallet ID address. Yeah.
interesting. So, all right. I think I've got that. Let's take another quick break because we're running out of time here. I knew we would go long, and we are going a little long, but that's okay. I think people are cool. And when after our break, I want to come back and just quickly, revisit crypto investing strategies, not only how to get started, but specific investing strategies. And then we'll, again, remind everybody how to stay in touch with you and so on after that. And then after that, the last break. All right, so let's come back, hear a little of Ricky Jean Wright. We'll be right back with Lynn Christensen and Warrior versus Zombie and Crypto for Dummies. All right. The more questions I ask, the more questions I have, and that's actually a good thing. That means we're on a good journey. And so before we took a break, I learned that I should have a trust wallet and I should have something like, and I want to keep it simple. I don't want about 10 options or whatever. So crypto.com. What else, other strategies, things should I think about if I'm getting started in the crypto world? Again, assuming I've not done anything or done very little.
Well, I recommend keeping it simple. KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Buy low and sell high.
Okay.
That's my advice.
And that's a good one. I mean, it's always one that, in any investment, whether it's real estate or anything else, we want to pull that off. I haven't always been personally successful in that. I've bought high and sold low, so I think most investors have had that experience if you've been doing it for a while. So in your world,
Mhm.
what do you use yourself? And I don't want to get into all the detailed technical, but just in general, how do you decide when it's time to buy and when it's time to sell?
Well, again, research. Um, but what I've learned is that you buy the rumors, sell the news. After you're in this investment world for a while, you kind of get the gist of how the manipulation works. Um, so I kind of go that way. A little bit of technicals, a little bit of fundamentals and education, and yeah.
So when you say technicals and education, and I've seen a little bit behind the scenes with you already,
Yeah.
so you're looking at charts, trading charts, pricing, and is that true? Is that true? Is that what you're doing? Is you're kind of seeing how when you say technicals, fundamentals, you're really looking at how uh, not necessarily what business the company's in, and I'm just correlating this back to stocks, if you will. You're looking at how that that market price is moving on that stock, and how much is being bought and those kinds of, is that what you're talking about?
So as far as the technical analysis,
Hmm.
viewing the charts, I'm looking at the highs and the lows, accumulation, and it's all based off probability. So once I mark those charts up and I add a few indicators that come with, it's called Trading View. I use Trading View, and that's available to anybody, by the way. Um, it just helps you get a little bit more in depth as to what you're seeing. So you can actually read between the lines. The candles have a story to tell. You just have to draw the lines and read between the lines. Whenever you go to like Coin Market Cap, or if you're in your app and you're looking at your stocks or your cryptos, all you see are the lines. That's it, right? And then
Right.
you see the news. So trading view and technical analysis and adding the indicators just takes it to a whole nother level.
Okay.
So
So if I were, and I get, I the other thing is, for, again, remember, crypto for dummies. Um, Most people, even in the what traditional markets like stock, real estate, other types of things, there's people like you
mhm.
that are analysts, brokers. They're really into the market and understanding it and making decisions. If I'm just a regular Joe and I'm putting money in and I don't want to do that research, um, what is your what is your recommendation there? I think I know what it is, but
My recommendation is don't do that. Don't invest in something blind.
okay. So know what you're investing in.
Absolutely.
What if?
And don't invest just because it's a rumor or it's already on the media, because once you've heard that and you've heard the hype, guess what? This coin's already pumped, and now it's getting to the mainstream media, so that FOMO now comes in and people go invest their hard-earned dollars. FOMO comes in, we have our blow off top, we pull our profits. Mass institutions or all the big wells, they pull their profits. We all take profits. That comes with knowledge in the market. You know when to pull your market or your profits. And then the mass who saw the media or heard the rumor lose all their money.
Right. So they bought in high and then get panicked and then sell low. And
Yeah, so
then,
that refers back to don't invest in blind. Do your due diligence.
okay.
Yeah.
So there is some intentionality there. If I'm not going to do a lot of research, though, you've already kind of given us some. If I get started with the king of crypto or whatever, which is the
Bitcoin, your safe
Bitcoin,
haven. You
s-
can do dollar cost averaging at $25 a week, $100 a week, or whatever the case may be. Even if you sat $25 into Bitcoin today, when it hits 1 million, 2 million, your $25 is now 250,000. So if you don't want to do the due diligence, you don't want to do educate yourself, and you just want to invest because you know it's hot and it's going to be something, I highly recommend that. I recommend Bitcoin and Ethereum. XRP, oh my God, XRP. Yeah.
okay. All right, that's fair. All right, let's take another quick break. We're going to come right back. I know that was a short segment, but I want to come back, and I want to. And you've already given me some specifics in terms of things to go, and we'll come right back, and we'll talk about where do we go from here, and I want you to get your general sense of the takeaway from this podcast, regardless of where you are on the dummy scale. If you're a dummy like me or you're experienced, what would be the call to action, if you will, and then how do we stay in touch with you aside from continuing to look for future shows on Warrior versus Zombies. So we'll come right back. Hear a little more Ricky Jean Wright, and we'll be back with Lynn Christensen. All right, little short break there. I want to get into um, one of the things that you hit on that's important is you mentioned stable coin in a conversation we had. We haven't talked about that, but you have Bitcoin, which is we know is going up, but it's still very volatile, and you have other coins. What Um, tell the audience. So where do you put? Is this in the crypto.com world where I have it? Is that in when it's in there? Is that
Mm.
help me understand that?
So the stable coins, they're in most of the wallets that are available to everybody. But the way that a stable coin works is, so right now we're in a bull run, right? Bitcoin, the altcoins, Ethereum, everything is having its pump. So we're going to make a lot of profits, right?
Hmm.
So what do you do with those profits when we go into the bear market? Well, you can put them into a stable coin. And what the stable coin provides is interest. And a stable coin is something that doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, it stays $1 basically.
Okay.
Stable, there's a couple of different ones out there. I'll touch on USDC, which is USD coin, and USDT, which is USD tether. And so, number one, you can take your money out and you can put it in the bank, but your money doesn't grow in the bank, and your money's not safe in the bank. As soon as you put your money in the bank takes that money and makes themselves money, right?
Right.
So with the stable coins, you can make your profits work for you. And every day the apps offer different interest rates. Sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it's monthly, sometimes it's annually. It just depends. I've seen interest rates as low as 4%, 12%, up to 12%. I haven't seen anything over 12% lately, but basically you put your profits into a stable coin, and just for holding it, you're gaining interest.
Okay.
So I think the bank might offer you in a savings account 0.01%, not even 1%,
Right.
where again, a stable coin will offer you 4 to 12%, sometimes even higher. You just have to check it daily. And
And
so
and the key is that it's offering you that, but it's in
it's
crypto.
in your crypto wallet, it's in your decentralized wallet, or your what's called CEX centralized wallet.
Mhm.
And I do recommend doing research on that. CEX and DEX, just so you can understand the difference.
Okay. And that's helpful. And again, I don't want to get too advanced here because, we'll maybe come back and talk specifically about one subtopic or another, but I did want to get that stable coin out there. It's like putting the money in a when the market's going up and down and bouncing around bears, bulls, all that stuff, and you're wanting to get some stable return. That's where people put it into CDs or in a typical market, into CDs or
Yeah, these are
something that has a guaranteed return. But even today, there's very little guaranteed return in the bank because the government's printing money and they're holding down the interest rate. So somebody else is in control. That's one of the things that you're not you still have to be educated and whatever, but there are big players in this space just like in any other space, and maybe disconnecting from some of the government manipulation isn't a bad thing either. So let's take another quick break. I know that that one was fast because I want to get into the fourth segment, and really I want to understand where we go from here and what takeaways. I mean, if you could give me two or three, just and I can think of a few that I've taken away, but I want to hear what you have to say, and we'll be right back with Lynn, and we'll talk about how we land the plane here and where we go. All right, we are back. And short break, short segment. Lynn, I want to talk to you. You've given an incredible amount of information in a very short period of time, and I think it's worth a little longer episode, and that's okay. But I do want to talk about what main things. Remember, today I'm talking to somebody who's not even done anything with crypto. Can you summarize for us what we should do when we end this, and if we want to get into it? Assuming we've decided I'm going to get into crypto, I'm going to get started. Tell me what the listener to do.
jump in,
Jump in.
don't look back, get in, get involved, and regardless of what you know, just get in now. It's the future, and you'll thank your future self. That's it.
So your future self will thank you for getting in today. Um, when you say getting in, again, to recap, what I think I heard you say is that would be getting your crypto wallet set up, your trust base? Is that what
So Trust Wallet and
trust wallet?
crypto.com. There's
Trust
many,
wallet,
but we said keep it
crypto.com.
simple on that. So
Yeah, let's keep it simple. I mean, there's a ton of options. I get it. I know I've already seen you got a bunch of different wallets yourself and all these other things. I don't want to get that complex. So,
yeah.
there's Trust Wallet, crypto.com, and then start with Bitcoin or Ethereum or something that's been out there for a while and do your research.
You're completely illiterate and you cannot handle Trust Wallet or crypto.com, then get Coinbase. It's
Okay.
Coinbase is really, really simple.
Okay. So Coinbase would be the real simple answer, and that's the one that's government regulated and so on. So they're
But it's
monitoring that.
super easy to buy, sell, swap, get it into your bank account, your funds immediately. I mean, immediately. So,
Okay.
but
All
those
right.
who want to go the extra mile and really reap all the benefits, Trust Wallet, crypto.com.
Okay. Trust Wallet, crypto.com. And the other thing is, as far as that I heard you say earlier, should be a takeaway I think from everybody is get some mentors that you trust. You mentioned Robert Kiyosaki. You mentioned some other folks. Is there anybody else that you kind of tune into shows?
I
That
got to give a shout out to one of my favorites. His name is Jeffrey Rojas, aka Mr. Unemployable. I came across him in Epic University. If you are searching for an educational platform, Epic University is where I dabbled in for a while and found Mr. Unemployable.
okay.
And he's no longer with Epic University, but there's another great educator in there for the crypto realm.
Hmm.
But you can follow Jeffrey Rojas. I get a lot of my nuggets from him um, at Mr. Unemployable on Instagram. He does have his own school now. It's called USC Use. I'm not in that, but I follow him on everything else. He's one of my favorites. Super humble guy. Younger than me, actually. One of my mentors is younger than me. How
That's
crazy
all right.
is that?
That's all right. I mean, you're mentoring me, and you're a little younger than me.
But the takeaway, is just get started and invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself, you can't go wrong. So that's the takeaway.
Yeah, even if you have to do it, ramp up to it, I think moving forward. Well, this has been great. And other than listening to future episodes of our discussions on Warrior versus Zombie or wherever we're at, and you are on the Be Connected platform, so we can reach out to you there. And last time, I think you said you were, doing some stuff on Instagram. Is that pretty much it?
So I was debating whether or not to put my information public
Okay.
because I'm missing opportunities of spreading awareness by being private. But I'm not quite there yet. We'll get there. I'm a work in progress. So for right now, if you want to contact me, you can reach me at Be Connected at Lynn Doreen.
Lynn Doreen. Okay. Lynn Doreen. That's your handle on Be Connected. So
LYNNDOREEN.
okay, I'll look for that and try to make sure we're connected there. I still think we've got some work to do there. I'm trying to find you. So we'll work on that. All right. Well, this has been a great episode. Hope it's provided value. Uh, by the way, Be Connected, we have a summit coming up on the 13th of November, and I'm a speaker there. I won't be talking about crypto, so be thankful for that. I'm going to talk about vision, but there will be some crypto conversations on that as well during that Saturday from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time. So with that, let's hear the final segment of Ricky Jean Wright. And thank you, Lynn, again. This has been extremely educational, and I know we've just scratched the surface. So I anticipate we may be back here. We'll see if you were interested in that and you enjoyed this podcast. Be sure and like it, subscribe, download it, reach out to me, reach out to Lynn, and we'll have more of this type of conversation going forward. So have a beautiful day, Lynn. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day.